What is going on, everyone? Nostalgia 925 coming at you with the first episode of my mythological conversation. Now, obviously, because it is the first episode, I must at least give you an idea as to how I came up with this series. Well, to keep it brief and simple. I really enjoy exploring Digimon, and while doing so, and by making the many videos already, I came across many Digimon that were made based on mythological creatures. That is why in this new mythological series, we're going to explore these mythological creatures to better understand Digimon and to better understand these mythological creatures that will take us to the different cultures and societies of the world. Seriously, this has got to be the best excuse I have to explore the world and the different cultures and the different histories and mythologies and all of that. Now that you have an idea, let us get right into it. In the Explaining LEOMON Digivolution line video, I mentioned a particular Digimon that is based on a Japanese mythological creature. That is why this video will take us to Japan and its myth. The Digimon in particular is called Orochimon, an enormous snake that is supposed to have 8 heads, but ironically, depending on pictures, it might have lost 1 or 2. Orochimon is based on the mythological Yamata No Orochi, probably the most gigantic creature populating Japanese mythology. The legends of the creature are originally recorded in 2 ancient texts about Japanese mythology and history. The first book is named Kojiki, which means Records of Ancient Matters. It is the oldest chronicle in Japan, dating from the early 8th century, composed by a nobleman called Ono Yasumaru. He made it at the request of Empress Genmei, a monarch of Japan. The second oldest book of classical Japanese history is called Nihonji. It is a more elaborate and detailed version of the first book, and in there is written the following about the Yamata No Orochi. It had an 8-forked head and an 8-forked tail. Its eyes were red, like the winter cherry, and on its back, firs and cypresses were growing. As it crawled, it extended over a space of 8 hills and 8 valleys. I think that Orochimon certainly does fit the description. It is huge and has 8 heads. However, the first thing I noticed while studying this mythological beast is that pictures and media mixed things up, leaving me quite confused. You might come across a creature that will have an appearance looking like an enraged dragon with 8 heads, and in the next picture, or anime or even games, you might see it as a huge snake. I am sure that most of you are familiar with the series Naruto. Well, at some given point you have a certain villain called Orochimaru that, through a series of circumstances, became this huge 8-headed serpent, clearly a reference towards the Yamata no Orochi. And I will get to Orochimaru and this particular form in a moment. You see, this ground snake could be a metaphor for the Hikawa River, a river which is located in the town called Izumo. The Hikawa River is one that has tributaries as numerous as the 8 heads and tails of the Yamata no Orochi. And I think that I can safely say that the creature is an embodiment of evil. In almost every context, a snake is considered as a bad sign or a bad symbol. Now, let me go a little bit deeper on the creature's story. You see, I mentioned both the ancient texts written in the Kojiki and the Nihonji. In both versions of the Orochi myth, they mention the Shinto storm god Susanoo that was expelled from heaven for tricking his sister Amaterasu, the sun goddess. So let me take you back to these deities. According to the legend, the great goddess of the sun, Amaterasu Kami, was offended by the disrespectful attitude of her brother, Takehaya Susanoo no Kami, who, after ransacking her rice fields and defiling her sanctuary, had thrown into the pavilion where she worked with her weavers a skinful. Deeply shocked, the goddess hid in a cavern and thus depriving the world of its light. And you all know, with no sun at the horizon or anywhere, that would mean eternal darkness. The Kami, which means the spirits or phenomena that are worshipped in the religion of Shinto, the Kami banned Susanoo from the area, exhausted by his nuisances. As the Kojiki further tells, after having been expelled, Susanoo descended to a place at the headwaters of the Hikawa River in the land of Izumo. While exploring the area, he came upon an old man and an old woman who had a young girl between them and were weeping. "Who are ye?" said Susanoo. "I am an earthly deity, child of the deity Great Mountain Possessor. I am called by the name of Foot Stroking Elder. My wife is called by the name of Hand Stroking Elder. and my daughter is called by the name of Wondrous Inada Princess. Susanoo asked, "What is the cause of your crying?" The elder had originally 8 young girls as daughters, but the 8-forked serpent has come every year and devoured them. Now was the time for the last child. "If this be thy daughter, wilt thou offer her to me?" said the brother of the sun goddess. "With reverence, that I know not thy name," said the old man. "I am elder brother to the heaven-shining great august deity, so I have now descended from heaven." Susanoo took full responsibility of the young girl and asked the elders to make a fence with 8 gates, and at each gate they should tie together 8 platforms, and on each of those platforms they had to put a liquor vat with 8-fold refined liquor. After doing that, they had to wait. The 8-forked serpent came and immediately dipped a head into each vat, drank the liquor, and thereupon was intoxicated with drinking, and all heads lay down and slept. Susanoo drew the saber that was girded on him and cut the serpent in pieces. The river changed from a river of water to a river of blood. Cutting the middle tail with his sword, Susanoo noticed that it had been chipped. He then split the tail in two and found an exceptional sword in the flesh of the snake. This sword, called Amenomura Kumo no Tsurugi, meaning the sword that assembles the celestial clouds, was offered by Susanoo to his sister. Amaterasu would give the not less exceptional sword of Susanoo, the snake slayer, the name of Orochi no Aramasa, meaning the violent and true sword that killed the giant snake. Now, I told you that I would refer back to Orochimaru. You see, the story I just told you about the 8-headed snake and Susanoo was actually a fight to protect a young child. And when Itachi fought Sasuke, his younger brother, it was also a fight to protect. When the big brother, Itachi Uchiha, fought, he used an attack called Susanoo, which is a reference towards the deity we just talked about. Sasuke had a cursed mark on his shoulder that he got from an encounter with Orochimaru. That cursed mark would eventually lead to Sasuke losing control of his body and unleashing an 8-headed snake, clearly a reference towards the Yamato no Orochi. In order to protect his little brother, Itachi fought in his Susanoo form against Orochimaru that came out of the body of Sasuke in the form of the Yamato no Orochi. The big brother wanted to protect his little brother from a villain that is associated to snakes, that is associated to the Yamata no Orochi. So if you consider Japanese mythology and you look at these fights, you will see that it has deeper meaning. It isn't just a coincidence that you see 2 creatures with special names fighting each other. There is a deeper meaning. And there are many parallels which makes it quite interesting, especially when you take a look at other mythological stories from different societies. That is why I want to stress out once more that the usage of a serpent which symbolizes evil is not exclusive to Japanese mythology. In the Norse mythology, Thor fought the Midgard world serpent called Jormungandr, the middle son of Loki. In Greek mythology, Zeus, god of thunder, fought Typhoeus, one of the most deadly creatures. In Egyptian mythology, you had Ra, god of the sun, that fought Apophis, an ancient Egyptian deity who embodied chaos. So there are a great many examples, trust me, but we're going to try and explore as much as we can. I really hope that you guys enjoyed what I had to offer in this first episode, and I hope you guys will have more respect and love towards Orochimon from Digimon. You will see, if you guys really enjoyed this video and I really notice that you support these kind of videos, I will keep on exploring these mythological creatures, and I will also keep on exploring those Digimon creatures which have roots, taking them to Latin America, Africa, Europe and more. So just let me know in the comment section if you really enjoyed it. And also, please guys, do not forget to subscribe. I'm trying to gather as many Digimon fans as I can. And in fact, those that love mythology are of course most welcome, because I will dive deeper into these mythological creatures. I won't just limit myself to those that you can find in Digimon, which means that this series is also going to take its own way. But know that you guys can always write in the comment section a particular creature that you want me to explore, a certain request, doesn't matter. Just let us talk and let us be this community of brothers and sisters, alright? And in case you guys are new, all my videos are in updated playlists. That way you can always catch up on newer and older videos.